This is the continuation of the last video. Another 5 behavioral questions for the QA role. We are going to see what interviewers are expecting and how can we answer using the STAR method. All right, let's get started. The first question: tell me about a time when you were under pressure to meet a tight deadline. How did you ensure that your testing was thorough and accurate? So, here, interviewers want to understand how you manage stress and maintain high standards of quality even when working under tight deadlines. They are looking for someone who can prioritize tasks, work efficiently, and avoid shortcuts that could compromise the final product. So, in your answer, emphasize your ability to remain calm under pressure, your time management skills, and how you ensure thorough testing even in the challenging circumstances. So, here's how you have to answer. During a critical project, our team faced an unexpected delay in which compressed our testing timeline significantly. We had just 1 week left to complete all testing before the scheduled release. My responsibility was to ensure that all core functionalities were tested thoroughly within the limited time available without compromising on quality. I began by prioritizing the most critical areas of the application, focusing on high risk functionalities that would impact users the most. I collaborated with the team to distribute tasks based on expertise and experience. To save time, I leveraged automated testing for regression tests and focused on manual testing on new and complex features. Additionally, I kept constant communication with the development team to address any issues as they arose. We successfully completed the testing within the deadline, and the product was released on time with minimal issues. The client was pleased with the quality of the release, and this experience reinforced my ability to handle high pressure situations while maintaining thorough testing standards. Alright, let's see the question number 2. Can you describe a time when project requirement changed midway through a project? How did you adapt your testing approach to accommodate these changes? This question assesses your flexibility and adaptability in dynamic environments. Interviewers want to know if you can handle changes without losing focus on the overall quality of the product. They are looking for examples of how you can quickly adjust your testing strategy to ensure all new and existing requirements are met. So, your answer should highlight your adaptability, communication skills, and ability to revise testing strategies to align with the new requirements. So, here's my answer. In the middle of a project I was working on, the client requested significant changes to the user interface and some backend functionalities. This change came after we had already completed a substantial amount of testing on the original requirements. My task was to revise our testing strategy to accommodate the new requirements while ensuring that existing functionality was not compromised. I worked closely with the product manager to fully understand the new requirements and their implications on the existing system. I then updated the test cases to include new features and reprioritized testing activities based on the changes. I also communicated with the developers to understand the potential impact of these changes on existing functionalities, ensuring that regression tests were conducted thoroughly. The revised testing strategy allowed us to identify several issues introduced by the new changes, which were promptly fixed by the development team. The project was delivered on time with all the changes successfully implemented, and the client was satisfied with the end product. This experience taught me the importance of flexibility and clear communication in managing the requirements. Alright, let's move on to the third question. Describe a time when you received negative feedback about your testing work. How did you handle it and what did you learn? Interviewers ask this question to assess your ability to receive and act on constructive criticism. They are looking for someone who can take feedback positively, learn from it, and make improvements in their work. This question also evaluates your self awareness and growth mindset. In your answer, focus on how you reacted to the feedback, the steps you took to address it, and how you used it as an opportunity for growth. So, here's my answer. In one of the previous projects, I received feedback from the development team that some of the test cases I had written were not thorough enough to catch certain edge cases, which led to a defect being found late in the testing process. My task was to address the feedback, improve the quality of my test cases, and ensure that similar issues didn't occur in the future. I first acknowledged the feedback and thanked the team for bringing it to my attention. I then reviewed the test cases in question and identified the areas where they could be improved. I worked on enhancing the test cases to cover more edge cases and added additional scenarios that might have been missed initially. To prevent similar issues in the future, I also created a checklist to ensure that all the critical scenarios were considered when writing the test cases. The improved test cases were more comprehensive and significantly reduced the number of defects found later in the stages of testing. This experience helped me develop a more rigorous approach to writing test cases and taught me a value of accepting and acting on constructive feedback. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Can you share an example of a time when you worked closely with cross-functional teams, like developers, product managers, to ensure a successful project outcome? This question is designed to gauge your ability to collaborate effectively with other teams and stakeholders. Interviewers want to see how well you can communicate, coordinate, and work towards a common goal in a collaborative environment. They are looking for examples of teamwork and how your efforts contributed to project success. Your answer should demonstrate your communication skills, your ability to collaborate with different teams, and how your contributions helped achieve a successful outcome. So, here's my answer. I was part of a project where we were developing a new feature for a mobile application. This project required a close collaboration between QA team developers and the product management team to ensure all aspects of the feature were thoroughly tested and aligned with user expectations. My role was to coordinate testing activities with the development and product teams, ensuring that all requirements were met and that the feature was delivered on time. I organized regular meetings with development team to discuss progress and any issues that arose during testing. I also worked closely with the product manager to clarify requirements and ensured that the testing covered all necessary user scenarios. By keeping an open line in communication between all teams, we were able to quickly address any issues and make necessary adjustments to the feature. Close collaboration led a smooth development and testing process, with the feature being delivered on time and with high quality. The product manager appreciated the thorough testing and the feature received positive feedback from users. This experience reinforced the importance of teamwork and communication in delivering successful projects. Moving on to the next question. Tell me about a time when you identified a gap in a test coverage. How did you address it and what was the outcome? This question is intended to assess your attention to detail and commitment to ensuring comprehensive test coverage. Interviewers want to know how proactive you are in identifying potential issues and how you take steps to mitigate those risks. They are looking for examples of how you contributed to improve the overall quality of the product. Your answer should highlight your analytical skills, your ability to identify the gaps in the testing process, and the actions you took to improve the test coverage. Here's my answer. During a project, I noticed that our test coverage for a particular module was lower than expected, especially in terms of edge cases and integration scenarios. This gap posed a risk of undetected defects making into production. My task was to improve the test coverage for this module and ensure that all critical scenarios were adequately tested. I first conducted a thorough review of existing test cases and identified areas where coverage was lagging. I then collaborated with the development team to understand the module's functionality in more detail and identified additional scenarios that needed to be tested. I created new test cases to cover these gaps and prioritized them in our testing schedule. Additionally, I worked with automation team to include these new test cases in our automated regression suite. The improved test coverage significantly reduced the number of defects in this module, both during testing and post-release. The project was delivered with higher quality, and the client was pleased with the robustness of the module. This experience underscored the importance of continually assessing and improving test coverage to ensure product quality. Alright, so that's it for today's video on the behavioral interview questions for QA roles. These questions are designed to test your problem solving skills, adaptability, communication, and commitment to quality. By using the STAR method, you can provide a clear and structured answers that showcase your experience and capabilities. I hope you found these examples useful. Let me know if you want to cover any other topics in the comments. I'll make another video